Dear CEOs and industry leaders, you are most graciously welcome to Akulmach Business Bunker. This is a forum where you are able to showcase your products to the masses, to the investor, to the prospects, and to your client. And if you want to promote your company and yourself, you have landed at the right place. Before we continue, do like and subscribe our channel. Hello, friends. Welcome. And today we are going to end our week. This is Friday, and many things happened over the last 1 week. But in this forum, we have a very special agenda where we actually have business people come together, talk to each other, and also discuss the survey results of the last week. So before I start inviting my guest today, let me give you a brief on uh, Akulmach Live. You know, it is using this code you can get connected with us at any time. All you have to do is point your mobile phone camera on this QR code, and you will get connected with us instantly. And brief on Business Bunker is that we actually help a lot of CEOs build online presence. We bring them together. This is one forum where people can talk about each other's offering, what is so special, USPs, and so on and so forth. And this will also give our guest a connection to the social media where people can directly reach out to our experts, and because of that, there is a social presence which is also provided. And by the way, we are live across all social media platforms as we speak. In fact, you can use the chat function in your social media to send in your questions, send in your requests, and anything that you want to say. You can actually use this chat function to get associated with our expert. So now let's welcome our experts as they are joining us today. The first one is Mr. Naveen Toshniwal, who is joining us from Jaipur. So Naveen, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Chandrakant. Last week I missed because of some guests who had come to my place, but this week I've managed, and I am on my rooftop. It's very cold here.
Welcome to the show, Naveen. And our second guest is Himala Shah. She's joining us from Bangalore. Welcome, Himala. How are you doing?
Hi Chandrakant, hi Naveen.
Yeah, thank you. All well.
All right. So others may be joining soon. Um, but Naveen, why don't you give your elevator pitch to our viewers? And viewers, you don't hesitate to send in comments because there are, experts going to talk about different business. So if you're watching us from whichever, do send in your comments and we will take up those questions straight away. So over to you, Naveen. Your elevator pitch, please.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I am Naveen Toshniwal, based in Jaipur. Basically born and brought up at Calcutta, and now in Jaipur for the last 25 years. We are into manufacturing of industrial and specialized cables, And this is our family business, which I have joined after completing my graduation from Jadavpur University in Calcutta. And I am continuing this business for the last so many years. And as a passion and as a part-time profession, I am into graphotherapy, which is uh, two steps ahead of graphology. First is graphoanalysis, where we are analyzing the personality and character of a person through the strokes in the handwriting. And thereafter, I suggest small changes to be made in the strokes so that you can actually change yourself or your personality in a short duration of about 3 to 4 weeks. So, this is my background.
Thank you so much, Naveen and Himla. You can introduce yourself and also talk about your services that you offer.
Sure. So I'm Himila Shah. I'm from Bangalore, and I'm into talent acquisitions anywhere from mid to C level of profiles that I actually work on. I also deal with individuals and students who want to get in for interview. How you can go ahead and speak to them, any kind of behavioral modification. I'm actually a master's in industrial and organizational psychology. I have 10 years of experience in HR and even partly in sales, and also have a certificate in engineering from Baruch Uni.
Welcome to Akulmach Business Bunker, Himla, and thank you. I'm glad you were able to join. So before we start our discussion, I would like to tell you that last week's question, which was posted on the public social media platform, was whether people like to work from home or they prefer hybrid, or the third option was any would do. And well, the verdict is in the middle. Actually, I will display the results. Uh, well, work from home marginally got slightly higher, but I think this is average out. 50% people feel that they prefer to work from home going forward from now, and 50%, roughly 50%, feel that they would like to have at least one day in office and a hybrid mode. Let's start our discussion and let's go to our expert in terms of taking their inputs. So, Naveen, do you agree with this? You're
Yeah.
coming from industry, and your industry cannot work from home. So, what is that you feel about this verdict which we got from public?
See, I think this verdict is mostly from people who are in the IT sector and probably those people who are in coordination work so that they can actually do their work from their laptops and from their home. But in industry, it is just not possible because we have to depend on workers who have to work on the machines physically. Otherwise, how they will be able to give the output or the production of or produce the products which we are manufacturing? So it is a very difficult thing to say that you can work from home. 50% agreeing to it is rather surprising. Maybe the people who have voted are not from the industry sector, but practically speaking, it is very difficult. Okay, in managerial level, like I work from home personally because I hardly go to the factory. But then people are there who have been delegated the work to look after at the factory level. So practically speaking, work from home is like almost not possible in industry. You have to be physically there. I still remember when the lockdown was there, we had a major setback because in 2020 lockdown, the turnovers in the month of April and May were actually zero because the industries were also told to shut down. So how can you meet the expenses? You have to go through a lot of stress and agony to continue your business. So it was very difficult. So work from home is not possible according to me in industry. Yes, in other sectors like if I talk about my passion, graphotherapy, that actually picked up during this time because we were all at home and I got an opportunity to pursue my passion. I just had to draft out a small email or a promotional thing that I am offering graphotherapy services. And since we are all at home, we can actually interact and do something online, have some sessions online and do one-to-one interaction, one-to-one counseling and therapy online. That will work. There's no doubt about it. That will work, but not industry.
Well, thankfully, you got exposed to the other world which exists on the internet during the lockdown period. So, Emila, what do you think? 50% people say that they prefer to work from home going forward from now. What is your opinion?
Uh, honest, Chandrakant, honestly, I'm not very surprised with the results. I also agree to what Navi said. There are a couple of things to it. There are skilled and unskilled labor that we are talking about. And there are certain industries, like, how Naveen has manufacturing industry. He as a boss or the CEO can decide to opt to be and take care of the back end work of what is required. The skilled worker where we need to, the unskilled worker, the laborers who have to go, they definitely have to get to do that products, and only then Naveen can take his call in his house or place wherever he wants to go. And I'm not surprised. The IT segment, definitely there are people who have, especially Bangalore, the IT segment, a lot of people were from outside Bangalore. They left hometowns, they finished their college, they came here, they started working, living in PGs, living in, shared accommodations, rentals. This actually gave, this time actually gave them an opportunity to go back to their hometowns, be at bases, spend time with their family, have home cooked food. Um, so IT sector definitely, I think, would have voted a higher lot. But for example, with my kind of profession, I always thought that, being in the office will only help. But now it is majorly that I can, work from my house. I can coordinate a lot of interviews. I can do candidates. I can do virtual interviews and send the candidates to the client company, especially real estate segment. And once they go there, the jobs are actually physically to be there in the construction site. So, workers and, site heads and other kind of leaders all the time in real estate cannot work from home. They can do a hybrid. So I, I see Naveen's point, and I think these majorly would have expected that they'll do work from home.
Well, I agree with you, but people also say the same thing. You see, Naveen, just for the sake of debating with you, there are 7% people who didn't care about what kind of job we are doing. They are okay with work from home. They are also okay with hybrid. And purposely, I never asked for in-premise working because premise working is anyway all the industries have to work in premise. But I think now the industry is evolving, and there is you as a industry owner, as a CEO of your company, will have to think a new way of combining how some portion of your company can work from home, some portion of your company can work in a hybrid mode, and others can work in premise. Isn't it, Naveen? I want to pick your brain on this.
Yeah, because see, as far as I can see, the pandemic will continue for some more time. So there is no relief as such. It is not that it is going away completely. So yes, you are right. We can find out modes and ways where we can have a hybrid system. Some people like skilled and unskilled workers who are actually required to work on machines. They have to be there. There's no choice. But then managerial level people who are making reports on the computer and day-to-day reporting, that can probably be managed in a hybrid mode. Because see, all these days we all have CCTV cameras which are overlooking the machines and the factory, and we have got all facilities of internet, phone, video call. So it is not necessary for everyone to be physically present in the factory. So it's right, actually we can always have a hybrid mode, and maybe some of the uh, staff members, not the workers, staff members can probably be given facility of having laptops so that they can coordinate most of the work through the laptops. And yes, it is possible to work out a hybrid mode, but it will take time to get set because industry people are still not used to this work from home style.
Let's move forward, Hemila. I think now from here and understanding the technology which is being introduced now for people, uh, where do you see we are headed as a nation? Because there are sort of a lot of new things being talked about in the budget also. So, what do you think will happen? I think the work from home or hybrid will become reality in long run, isn't it?
That is absolutely right, Chandrakant. The budget is actually, much awaited, but I'm still yet to figure out what is going to work out well. I have still have to read out the details of the same. But one thing is there, this model is here to stay. Before 2020, nobody had even thought about work from home unless you were really unwell or the IT companies offered their employees remote. That was a different ball game altogether. But now every industry, as Naveen mentioned, that every industry can have a model, and not necessarily it's a very I don't want to use the wrong word, but I personally feel that in the real estate industry, that's where majorly I also hire in. What happens is you need the workers to be there, you need supervisors to be there on the construction site. You also need their superiors to be coming in to check on the quality and other material and whatever is needed. Sales guys have to be there. Now, the top bosses or management or someone who has to make the reports, who have to be on the calls with the director, owner of the organization, they can work from home, and maybe once a week, twice in a week, they can go to the site office, they can go to the and see how it's going about. Everything is pretty virtual. So work from home and hybrid model are definitely going to stand place in different industries and varied percentage is what my take would be on.
Naveen mentioned a very important point, which was about CCTV cameras and things. And being a man of IT myself, I feel that personally, the CCTV cameras are also going to become obsolete because with 5G coming in, you don't have to have a CCTV camera based monitoring or surveillance system because everything will be looped down into the network itself. So you just take the internet and you provide various kinds of services on the same internet on different gadgets like cameras and sensors, or even the locks where you can open and close locks at the same time. So I think there is going to be a major change, and all of these devices will be very, very low cost. So it's not that you have to do some extra investment in adapting these new technology. There has to be a consolidated effort or a new way of thinking for the industries they will have to come out with. I mean, places like railway yards, which is a physical activity, but it can be automated by having the systems to take care of things without human intervention, and things like that. So I think there is a lot of scope for development and enhancement. I mean, what is your thought process on this?
So I think automation is definitely going to happen. The real estate seeing home automation very strongly. I am sure that the commercial automation has also increased in the sense that when we talk about, I'll tell you an incident that happened here in Bangalore. Somebody who was in the United States had completely, made their home automated. And in the middle of the night for them, around 2:33, an intruder broke in their, and the guy got a beep tone. He actually could control. He locked major systems in his house, even the cupboards. He did double locking with the devices, and he called the police. He called friend or maybe his neighbor, whoever was there, to figure out if someone intruded in their villa, and they're away for like 3 to 6 months. So that was such an eye opener, and he actually view, and this is without the CCTV. This is, I'm talking about purely from home automation perspective. I'm no expert on that, but this kind of, and the police did come in half an hour's time, and this home automation, if it has come in, I am quite confident the commercial setup is also very strong. And I do believe in the fact that CCTV eventually will get obsolete. There will be different modalities where people can be monitored without even intruding in their privacy of wherever they are working, even if it's a commercial setup or your home setup. Nobody likes to be constantly watched upon. So I'm also waiting to see where this goes from here with you, Chandrakant, on that.
Actually, this news of this Bangalore case, it is there. It's very viral, I think. It's coming on social media and everywhere that
Yeah, it
someone sitting abroad and then he was able to see the intruders and he informed the police and neighbors. It was there in the news.
correct. Yes, it was. It was major. It was in a good locality here, and we were also. I mean, I was surprised to see that this guy could actually view what's happening in his house without the CCTV. He did this through complete digital home automation setup. Yeah.
Hmm.
Another component of the digital setup is really the network. And today, most of us are getting our television as part of network delivered to us. Like, for example, I've switched completely from dish TV to the internet TV completely, almost 18 months back, and I don't have any dinner on top of my house. And similarly, a lot of these functions can be added. For example, the payments is also added to the network. If you're a Reliance customer or Airtel customer, they have this Reliance Pay, and Airtel has the Airtel Pay applications which are plugged into the same network. So you sell things. Similarly, there could be a component of surveillance that can be added. There is already component of video conferencing which is already added. So a normal TV can become a video conferencing device sitting at home. So your employees actually have to spend a lot, because all of these things are now becoming part of subscription based model where all of these services can be subscribed. For instance, if your network provider is giving you television also, they will charge slightly more. So actually, you tend to save money by subscribing these services. So I know for sure by 2022, the surveillance will be part of a normal subscription model through any of these 4G networks that we have. So, Naveen, would you like to reconsider your business? I mean, because you are the person from and you are the most affected, entity, or people like you are most affected, and a lot of people are watching us also live on various platform at this point in time. So, I think your view in terms of how people like you take on this new advancement is very very important. So, over to you, Naveen.
See, actually, it's very difficult to agree with you completely because, see, there are some aspects in the manufacturing, not only the production, even the testing, raw material states testing, intermediate stage testing, and finished product testing. How is it possible to control online? People have to be present. When you are doing a raw material testing, when you issue from the stores to the workshop, you have to make sure that it is perfect. A report has to be made, internal report has to be made. Then in process quality control, some person has to be standing on the machine and physically be taking the measurements of whatever production is coming out from there. And any setting in the machine is to be done, then the operator or the foreman has to do it. And similarly with the final testing, someone has to be there in the physically. Otherwise, it is not possible to control your quality sitting online. Of course, as a owner of the company, it may be possible because I don't have to do this thing personally. I can rather concentrate on my passion of graphotherapy, sitting at home and enjoy it. But practically, running an industry from home is, I don't think it is advisable, or it may be practically possible in the near future.
Well, I think let's divert the discussion a little bit, and I think let's go to the public works. Things like electricity and water. Let's talk about water, for example. Water, we get all the water, and then individually, all of us use RO to purify the water. And as when we use RO, 50% of the water is wasted completely. So we get water and then we waste 50% of that just to produce drinkable water or for our purpose. So I think this space is also very rapidly changing. And for example, I mean, completely, people have to be there and quality control has to be there. So similarly, the public works department people have to be there to purify the water. They cannot get out that. But then there are a lot of development happening in this space, especially in Mumbai, Bangalore, and Delhi, where there are sensors coming in. There are very low cost sensors which are being developed, very low cost, which will be put in the meter. And when you actually pay for the water, you only pay for the purified water. So those kind of sensors are being developed, which will become part of these main water supply, and the people will be charged for water. So I think these are the things when people can do, slow dinosaurs type people. Beg your pardon, whoever is, watching this, don't just take the analogy. But if people who can change the water supply also using latest technology, use internet 5G networks, I don't think we need to really exert hard. It's a question of cost, basically. How do you deploy your manpower? Emila, what is your opinion on this?
See, I'm aware that there is some development happening. I'm not into mechanical concepts. I'm not into how they're going deep into this, but definitely I know that there are different industries which are working to, work on this quality control, and in terms of this kind of automation, where you'll be only charged for what you're going to be using. I do see coming from there. And apart from that, when we are talking about, I'm going to digress, but going to the work from home model and hybrid model, this thing is here to stay. Whatever will make human, the human concepts, or the more how you're going to be utilizing your work in terms of your brain, it's basically working smarter than working hard. It'll come to that point of context. So everybody will find, and we are very good. India very good with Indian jugaad. I mean, that is something we cannot forget. So companies will come, people will come, leaders will come to think about this concept of having a work-life balance, because work from and hybrid model is going to help in that concept. It is also to reduce a lot of commercial costs as on site. A lot of these co-working models are coming into picture. Like, you have these co-work spaces, they will come into picture because it's not like a plug and play concept. So say example, a startup company, or Chandrakant having a office in Delhi, and he wants to come here but don't have want to have a physical office, you can have a co-working space. You can come there once or twice, just pay for the days that are coming in. You will be provided with everything, including tea, coffee, snacks, internet, conference room. Now Chandrakant can just come, plug his laptop, get his own laptop, or even if he doesn't want to, he can hire a laptop from these companies and start working, do your business, and go back to Delhi on the same day. So this model, uh, so we understand we have to be very flexible, and this is here to stay. Some industries will take longer. I keep telling this every time, but some industries will take a little longer because in certain cases may not be feasible at this point of time. But eventually there will be there'll be improvements. There will be better thing in that industry as well. That's my take on certain things.
So let us change gear. Let's look at the HR function. And everybody is affected by this human resources. And as per the survey, 50% people say that they would like to work from home, and 50% says that they would like to prefer hybrid, and only 7% says that I don't care. So in that scenario, I think we need to, as CEOs, we need to really rethink our hiring process, where we have to say we have to really respect this public view, public sentiment, and while hiring people also. Naveen, over to you. I think this question is for you. While hiring also, when the people are not willing to work in office and they are willing to work in a hybrid mode, as a CEO of an industry, what should be running in your mind? I think your answer is very, very vital here.
So I think, as I said earlier, it will take time to adjust, because okay, that depends on what role you are hiring the person for. If it is not directly related to production or quality control, yes, work from home or hybrid mode is definitely possible. But it all depends on what role you are actually talking about. If someone is there in finance, okay, then you just need to give a laptop to the person who can complete the data entries and probably do it from wherever they are. But for industry, hardcore industry work, the physical presence will still be required. But then, as Hemila said, that probably people will come in and come up with innovative ideas how to go about the quality control also. Because this reminded me of one thing. One particular customer, he told me, okay, the your product is ready. You show me the inspection online, and I will believe you. Whatever you are showing is okay. So we took the camera to the machine and we set the high voltage test machine, and then we showed him the test, and then he was convinced. So this is how something we can work on and improve on to try and make it in a hybrid mode in the near future.
Well, I just want to add that even doctors are preferring the online consultation, because in my family there were some doctor appointment required, and they said there are two types of appointments available. The hospital appointment, which is face to face, is X amount, like 900 rupees. But if you go online, you have to pay 1200 rupees for a one time consultation. So even online is more expensive, but then doctors are preferring. So, I think that is how they are. Even doctors say, hey, don't come to hospital. I will give you consultation through sitting in your home, and as long as you pay me, I'm fine. So, considering all these changes which are happening in our industry today, Hemala, let's talk about the HR function, because you work with HR and a lot of leaders across India, across different states, and you handle these nuances on daily basis. What do you see this kind of role changing into in near future, considering the people now working 50% at least will be working from home?
So it is very interesting, Chandrakant. In fact, I was thinking, if given a preference, what would I do personally if I had to go to office, or whether I can do hybrid or I can work from home. But before I on this talk show, I actually was having a business meet online with a head HR of a very big builder company here in Bangalore. I almost had a half an hour. So the person who got me the conversation, he asked me, Emila, would you want to come to office, or would you want to do it from video? I said I'll prefer a video, because knowing the current scenario in Bangalore in terms of pandemic, I said I don't want to risk myself coming in close place. I don't in an open space. They saying, don't to worry, we'll have a conversation on the phone. So my entire business talk happened with this gentleman who's head HR of the, it's a luxury premium segment developer that I'm talking about on call. And I didn't even see him, he didn't see me, but we went through the whole so he asked me, would you be okay with, basically this was in terms of work related. So he said, do you want to do it from home or from on site? And I said I prefer working from home because for me, I don't have to meet the candidate. I can meet them on virtual calls on Zoom or Skype, wherever, on WhatsApp call. So he's like, okay, done. We can, we'll consider this aspect as well, because most of the people are wanting to do this kind of work. So what I'm trying to tell you is there is a mixed bag. I don't mind going once in a while or once in 2 weeks or things like that, but this concept is here to stay. People like that freedom now better, instead of sitting in a cubicle, um, just figuring out or seeing their colleagues whole day long. The productivity is higher, I personally feel, even if you work from home. And depends also you take your work, whether you take it lazy, you want to just do it for the heck of doing. So personally, I feel that this concept is here to stay. I have too many things on my mind to speak, but I think the concept is here to stay, both of it, the hybrid and the work from home.
Naveed, your last comments. Since there are 50% of the people fall into your category, which is, see, as far as online business is concerned, you're completely protected for your online business. But when it comes to the industry development and production, etc., uh, you've heard the survey results, and now you've also heard fellow panelist results. So, last word, you, Naveed.
No, actually, we have to move with the times. And if this sort of situation prevails, the pandemic continues, then there have to be ways and means to be developed so that many people may not be required to physically go to their workplaces. But it will not be easy. It will take time. It is not so easy. Maybe you'll have to have more skilled people who can go there at the machines, do the work, and then come back. But as of now, if you have too many unskilled labor and you have labor oriented work, it is very difficult to go for the online mode. But of course, it is workable. If we make efforts, definitely the solutions will also be found.
Great. So we had a very interesting discussion today with our experts, Hemala Shah, who joined from Bangalore, and Naveen Toshiwal, who joined us from Jaipur. But we are in the budget session right now, and there are many interesting things which were announced by the finance minister. And one interesting thing is about the digital currency, and that discussion is coming up next. The survey is already on. People are responding to it, especially about the digital currency, Indian rupee as a digital currency using blockchain. So next week again we will invite you, and we will have this interesting discussion same time on Friday next week. So thank you so much for joining us today, both of you, Amin and Hemla.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Thanks, Naveen. Thanks, Naveen. Thanks.